With the 3.2 Bestiary League coming up, all of the 19 ascendancies have been rebalanced or reworked entirely to give each ascendancy their own unique identity and mechanics. With this series, I aim to showcase every ascendancy and expand on their possibility before the league starts. I'll start each ascendancy with a short overview of its theme in the game and their notable points. Today, I'll follow up with 2 specific builds that synergize well with the ascendancy, and at last, I'll provide my personal opinion to the changes of that particular ascendancy. Since 3.2 is at our door, the builds will be potential league starters, and I'll try to be as new player friendly as possible. Today, I'm excited to highlight the Champion. The Champion is a glorified fighter who dives into the fray and beats his foes by outliving and provoking them. His focus lies with bolstered defenses and resolute attacks while also protecting and inspiring other exiles. In 3.2, the layout of the Champion hasn't been changed at all, so let's start with the left side and talk about Unstoppable Hero and Fortitude. Fortitude gives you the Fortify buff, which gives you a 20% damage reduction on hits. As a champion with these points, not only do you have Fortify up at all times, you'll also have Unstoppable Heroes bonuses active, which gives you stun immunity and additional offensive and defensive stats. This allows you to get close to the enemy without having to worry about being stun locked and more chances of survival. These points are good for any melee character, but has also been a popular choice for bow users, as they cannot get the Fortify buff any other way. Unstoppable Heroes Flat Evasion also synergizes well with the Queen of the Forest chess piece, making it easier to get the 100% movement speed bonus. On the right side, we have Conqueror and Worthy Foe. These points are all about taunting your foes, rewarding yourself and your allies with offensive and defensive stats, while simultaneously weakening enemies. Conqueror will cause all of your hits to taunt an enemy. A hit is everything that causes direct damage to an enemy. That means attacks, spells, and secondary effects, but not damage over time, such as bleed or poison. Taunting an enemy will make you the enemy's target for 3 seconds, but they'll deal 10% less damage to other players. Your champion will always taunt, so you will always have the ascendancy bonuses active. In this case, enemies take increased damage, which counts as a more multiplier for yourself and for party members. The most noteworthy aspect of this ascendancy point is cannot evade attacks. This means that your character is able to hit 100% with all attacks, and you won't need resolute technique. I really like this point since it opens up more build options. For instance, you can invest into critical strike chance without ever needing the accuracy. We may also see some custom crit action, as you won't need the Lycosidae shield or vegan weapon to proc your crits. And the remaining notes are Inspirational and First to Strike, Last to Fall. Inspirational provides an aura around you. You and your allies deal increased damage and have increased movement speed. It's nothing special and nothing new, but it will help your party members to get through areas and maps faster. First to Strike and Last to Fall. This note encourages you to be the first to attack an enemy and to actively take hits. By being the first to attack an enemy, intimidated enemies take increased attack damage. Like Worthy Foe, this is a more damage multiplier. However, it is limited to attacks, so spellcasters won't gain a benefit from this. I do feel that the Intimidate is still limited and situational. During map clear, this point seems non-apparent because players want to one-shot monsters anyway, and during boss battles you only have this one chance to intimidate the enemy, and that's when they're full life. Of course, you can gain this effect from Belt of the Deceiver, but the whole point of the Ascendancy is to create options, and I feel that this aspect of this point doesn't quite get it yet. However, if you face powerful enemies, such as map bosses and several dangerous rare mobs, you might reach the low life threshold. The threshold is below 35% total life, and then for 20 seconds you gain the adrenaline buff, which gives you a ton of damage, attack speed, movement speed, and more physical damage reduction. This note encourages you to show your bravado and say, "Come on, hit me," and you'll retaliate with stronger attacks. If you reach low life, you'll also remove all ailments, which are chill, frozen, shock, ignite, poison and bleed. Every time you reach the low life threshold, this buff refreshes. I really like this point. It encourages you to put yourself in harm's way, and it rewards you for doing so. One-shots, however, still exist in Path of Exile, so don't get too overconfident. Let's talk about potential League starter builds. The one that comes to my mind is an Ice Shot Bow Champion. The champion always had a decent spot for bow users. In this video, Xeno chooses the champion since it allowed him to gain access to the Fortify buff and risk more dangerous play with his Arborix bow. By cycling Far Shot and Point Blank Shot and Iron Reflexes respectively, he's able to convert his evasion to armor, reducing his fist damage taken further, while also increasing his damage to close enemies. The new Unstoppable Hero enhances this and gives you 2k armor with Iron Reflexes active. That's equivalent to a solid armor chest piece. With the new champion, bow users can expand this high risk, high reward playstyle with immunities and offensive stats as a reward. Due to the duelist position in the tree, it's difficult to justify critical strike investment, while there are so many other ascendancies that achieve this purpose easier and to more effect. With the new Worthy Foe, however, you can forego accuracy entirely and emphasize on critical strike chance and crit multiplier. Next build that comes to my mind is Flicker Strike Champion using Terminus Est. The champion has always been a popular choice for Flicker Strike builds, as Flicker Strike pummels you unpredictably between enemies. In this video, Time Will Tell All's champion uses the ailment immunity at low life and the Fortify to survive area damage and hits from the enemies. With the new champion, Flicker Strike users will be rewarded with both offensive and defensive buffs when they dive in. The only problem with Flicker Strike is its sustainability. In order to keep attacking with Flicker Strike, you need to keep your frenzy charges up. Terminus Ests gives you a frenzy charge on critical strike. With the new Worthy Foe, you'll always hit your attack, thus increasing your crit chance. It also allows you to scale more critical strike chance on the tree, thus making this build more consistently. My final verdict for the champion is positive and a little bit of mixed feelings. The champion really feels like Leroy Jenkins. You can dive fearlessly into battle without fearing stuns or ailments or whatever the situation. And unlike Leroy Jenkins, the champion can weather a lot of damage and still come out on top victoriously. And I really think that diving straight into a dangerous pack of monsters or taunting an enemy boss is really exciting. However, I also have a fair share of mixed feelings. With the current power creep of Path of Exile, taunting enemies is usually irrelevant. As I said, during map clear people want to one-shot monsters. In theory, it sounds nice for bosses, but to this day I haven't seen many people actively taunting an enemy like a tank does in World of Warcraft. But then again, Path of Exile is all about creating options, and there shouldn't be a mandatory need for taunting bosses, like it is in World of Warcraft. And I also feel that the Intimidate is too situational at this stage. But let me know what you guys think about this. And that wraps up the champion. Are you going to play a champion in 3.2, or do you have any other build ideas that suit the champion well? Please let me know in the comments down below. Want to see me build a Champion League starter? Please vote in the poll system down below. And if you like this video, you know what to do.
Come on, knock me out! Come on, harder! Get hard! Hit it harder out! Come on! Get out of there! My mother's on it! Come on, a little harder, Jim! Hit the face, come on! Again, you ain't again, come on, champion, so bad. Ain't nothing.